This has to be with my husband's consent. And the program is still ongoing. It will end at the end of the month. My husband doesn't know about the live stream yet. I will mention it to him next month. The viewers in the live stream, hearing Wei Wei's words, became curious. Speaking of which, the fact that Professor Su conquered cancer, many people know. I guess in a couple of days, Professor Su will also know that he has been live streamed the whole time. Right, in the control room, the director looked at the comments and laughed. In the short term, Professor Su will not know about the live stream. Our live stream has blocked local netizens, meaning that people in the city cannot see our live stream for the time being. Someone in the live stream immediately asked, what if news pops up in the browser or Professor Su sees the news on TV? The director saw this comment, and his heart couldn't help but skip a beat. That's right. The person who conquered cancer has been exposed. Such a big thing will definitely be on TV. If it's on TV, then it can't be concealed any longer. Then this program will not be able to continue. But then he thought about it. After all, we have already explored such an amazing identity. There probably isn't anything else to expose. Thinking of this, the director laughed. If Professor Su finds out, then that would mean that our first episode has come to a successful end. At this moment, in the live stream, I heard old Zhang and Zhang use damn. I was not only stunned. Such high-status people would actually say damn, take the medicine first. I poured 2 glasses of water for them. 10 minutes later, old Zhang said in shock, I feel like I'm much more sober now. Me too, Zhang Yu nodded. Old Zhang looked at me, gave me a thumbs up. Professor Su, you are the best. I felt extremely embarrassed. Compared to the cancer drug, this anti-hangover capsule was nothing. Zhang Yu looked at me, asked, Professor Su, do you have any plans to mass-produce the anti-hangover capsules? Hearing this, I nodded. Yes, they can be mass-produced. There are many places where this kind of drug can be used. But let's talk about specific cooperation next month. Zhang Yu happily replied, okay, no rush. We'll listen to your arrangements. The fans in the live stream, hearing that the anti-hangover capsules were going to be mass-produced, also couldn't help but get excited. The ladies in nightclubs were thrilled. Finally, we don't have to drink until we throw up every day. I'm in business, with too many social engagements. I once drank until I had a stomach perforation. Almost died. When the anti-hangover capsules are launched, I'll buy 100 boxes at once. In the live stream, I was still chatting with old Zhang and Zhangyu. Until 1 p.m., my phone suddenly rang. I glanced at it and answered, Shen Dong, why are you calling me all of a sudden? Shen Dong on the other end of the phone laughed. Professor Su, I just got off the plane, and I happen to have some business to take care of here. I was thinking of visiting you tomorrow. I wonder if it's convenient for you. I was speechless after hearing this. What's going on these past few days? Why are there guests coming every day now? The chairman of Zihu Pharmaceutical is coming, and I have to cook every day. But there's no way around it. Guests from afar are guests. I could only helplessly reply, it's convenient. Come on over. Old Zhang and Chairman Zhang are here too. The other end of the phone was a little confused after hearing this. Old Zhang. Chairman Zhang, I chuckled. Old Zhang, the president of Wudaoku University. You should know Chairman Zhang, the chairman of Dongxia Pharmaceutical. Shenzi on the other end of the phone said in surprise, Zhang Yu is also there. Then I'll come to visit you tomorrow morning. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Yu asked curiously, who was calling? I said helplessly, your peer, Shenzi, you should know him, right? Zhang Yu laughed lightly after hearing this. Oh, it's him. We're old acquaintances. The next second, Zhang Yu saw my helpless expression and asked, Professor Su, what's wrong? It's nothing. It's just that after I got married to my wife, I always lied to her that I couldn't cook. I didn't expect that I'd be cooking non-stop these days. Zhang Yu immediately said after hearing this, why don't we go to a hotel tomorrow? That way you won't be so tired. Forget it. I waved my hand. Guests are guests. I have to treat them well. After all, the food at the hotel isn't as good as what I cook. It's nice to chat at home like this and brag a little. Old Zhang laughed heartily after hearing this. Then this old man will be lucky again tomorrow. We chatted until 5 p.m. Old Zhang and Zhang Yu knew that Wei Wei was about to get off work, and they left in a hurry. I sat on the sofa, slowly savoring the da hong pao that old Zhang had given me. Then my phone rang again. I glanced at the contact, President Li. After answering the phone, I went straight to the point. President Li, is there anything I can help with? President Li on the other end of the phone chuckled. Professor Su, I'm formally notifying you of something. I hope you can be prepared. My expression became a bit serious after hearing this. What notification? President Li's expression on the phone became a bit more serious. I received a notification from my superiors that at the beginning of next month, when your identity is made public, your latest research achievements will also be made public. The live stream chat started to fill up again. Who is Professor Su talking to? Why does Professor Su have such a serious expression? We can't hear what the other person is saying. It's so frustrating, I thought. Professor Su's identity has already been fully exposed, but it seems like there's still more to it. There shouldn't be any other identities left, right? No matter how amazing Professor Su is, his age is still what it is. Actually, the fans in the live stream felt that there wouldn't be any more hidden identities after all. The identities that have been revealed are amazing enough. They continue to watch the live stream just to see how Wei Wei would serve me when I got home tonight. They wanted to see if she would wear any romantic outfits. Wei Wei in the control room had already thought about how to serve her husband well tonight. She couldn't wait to get home sooner. She now felt towards her husband a kind of urge to worship. Unfortunately, it wasn't 5:30 yet. Wei Wei felt that time was passing so slowly. Every second was torture. The fans in the live stream seemed to see Wei Wei's eagerness and started teasing her one after another. Wei Wei, looking at you. It seems like you can't wait to go home. Ha ha. Is Wei Wei especially admiring Professor Su now? Is she feeling very excited? Wei Wei coughed after seeing the comments. She tried hard to make her expression more natural. You guys are overthinking things. I'm just thinking about making a few more dishes when I get home. The fans in the live stream didn't believe her. Wei Wei wants to go home early. 80% of the time is because she misses Professor Su. At this moment, in the live stream, I was sitting on the sofa, sipping tea and looking at my phone. I always felt a strange feeling. It felt like something was missing at home. I frowned slightly. This feeling was getting stronger. What exactly was missing at home? I frowned and took a sip of tea. But my face changed as soon as I swallowed it. Oh my god, crap, the kids. I quickly put down my teacup and stood up. Every day at 3:30, I would go to the kindergarten to pick up my daughter. It's already after 5 o'clock now. I quickly picked up my phone to call the teacher. When I finally saw the message my wife, Wei Wei, sent me. Grandma picked up our daughter today. She be staying at Grandma's tonight. Seeing this, I breathed a sigh of relief. I quickly replied to Wei Wei's message. At this time, the fans in the live stream saw my expression change dramatically, as if something important had happened. Then they saw me pick up my phone, like I was trying to contact someone urgently. And the fans became curious from observing these past few days. Susie's emotions were very stable. Why did he suddenly look so frantic? What happened to Professor Su? Who is he texting? It looks like something big happened. Wei Wei also received my message at this time. She felt very speechless. Actually, she had known for a long time that I would forget to pick up my daughter. Luckily, she contacted her mother in the afternoon and asked her to pick up the child in the afternoon. She originally wanted to serve her husband well tonight, but it was a bit awkward to do so with the child around. Wei Wei glanced at the comments at this time and explained, Susie sent me a message. It's because he forgot to pick up the kid from school. The audience in the live stream immediately laughed out loud. Ha ha ha, is this daughter his own? Where is the child now? He should call the teacher. Right, Wei Wei chuckled. My parents picked up the child. She's staying at Grandma's tonight. However, the fans reacted even more strongly after hearing this. I get it. Ha ha ha, I get it instantly. Looks like there will be a storm tonight. Wei Wei saw the fans joking around. And surprisingly, she didn't blush. She just turned to the director and said, I'll block the camera when I get home later. The director chuckled. Okay, the little assistant also showed and I understand look at this time. At 5:40 p.m., seeing my wife return, I quickly stood up from the sofa. Grandma and Grandpa must miss their granddaughter. Wei Wei didn't answer me, just giggled, and then pressed the blocker in her bag. The live stream instantly disappeared. The fans started complaining one by one. It's over already. Do you think I don't have money to watch the rest? I can pay, the little assistant in the live stream said jokingly. Okay, everyone, let's wrap it up. We've been live for a whole day. Everyone's tired. That's it for today. See you tomorrow. The live stream then ended. At that moment, Wei Wei hugged me tightly. I immediately felt uneasy. It seemed I understood why my mother-in-law had taken the child away. Husband, I've been thinking. Wei Wei's tone was gentle. Her gaze towards me was filled with intense love. What's going on? I was utterly confused. Wei Wei didn't respond. Instead, she kissed me directly. The following content. Dear readers, you wouldn't like it. The author has taken care of it for you. It wasn't until 7 p.m. that I finally got out of bed. Wei Wei was in a good mood. Honey, you rest for a bit. I'll go make dinner. Meanwhile, I sat on the sofa, completely bewildered. What's up with my wife today? Like a hungry wolf. The next morning, after breakfast, Wei Wei kissed me and said, Honey, I'm going to work. I patted her head and said with a smile, Go ahead, I'll miss you. After she closed the door, I sat on the sofa, my back aching, thinking back to yesterday evening and this morning's events. I couldn't help but have the idea of developing a new drug. After leaving the house, Wei Wei immediately unblocked the live stream. At this time, there were already 300 people waiting in the live stream. When the fans saw her, they started flooding the chat with comments. Professor Su must be exhausted from last night. Which man wouldn't want to be exhausted like that? We're so envious, director. The assistant supervisor looked at the cheerful Wei Wei and joked, Wei Wei, sis, your complexion looks amazing today. What kind of tonic did you take? The audience in the live stream began to tease her even more. Wei Wei didn't answer. Instead, she picked up her phone and sent a message, Mom, can you pick up the child again this afternoon? Let the child stay with you for a couple of days. As soon as the message was sent, her mother replied instantly, What's wrong with Susie? Did you two have a fight? Wei Wei's face turned red. She replied, No fight, I just want the child to stay with you for a couple of days. Hearing Wei Wei say this, her mother understood immediately following. A message came over, You're not young anymore, if you want a second child, hurry up. Wei Wei was speechless. Although she felt awkward, she still picked up her phone and sent another message. Husband, do you want a son? I was very surprised to receive the message. You want a second child? Yes, I want to have another one, that way the family will be more lively. Seeing her say this, I smiled and replied, Okay, then let's have one. Yeah, okay, husband, then I'll tell mom to have our daughter stay with them for a few days. Hearing her say this, I felt a sudden weakness in my body. Okay, Fine, after setting the second child plan, I picked up my phone and called Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang, come have breakfast with Director Zhang. Elder Zhang on the other end of the phone laughed and said, We've already had breakfast. Zhangyu and I are heading over now. See you in a bit, I responded and hung up the phone. After putting the phone away, I went to the kitchen to get busy. Not long after, Elder Zhang and Zhangyu arrived after making tea. I looked at Elder Zhang and asked with a smile. Zhangyu didn't come. When Yan, Elder Zhang chuckled. He thinks we're old and feels awkward eating with us. He went to hang out with his friends. I was speechless. I'm a young person too, okay? Enough about this. Zhangyu, who was beside me, chimed in with a laugh. Before I came, I called Shenzi. He should be here shortly. Then Zhangyu asked curiously, Professor Su, how did you meet Shenzi? I chuckled. Shenzi and I met at a banquet. He's here for some business and also to see me. Actually, Shenzi and Zhangyu are the same. They are both leaders in the top domestic pharmaceutical companies. My acquaintance with Shenzi was also due to another drug I developed. It's produced at Shenzhou's company, but it's still in the confidential stage right now, so I can't say much. However, all of this will be made public next month on the 1st. Zhangyu was a little puzzled at this time. He nodded. He had also talked to Shenzi on the phone yesterday, and Shenzi also said he was coming to the office to visit Susie, but he always felt that Shenzi was a bit strange. But he couldn't put his finger on what was wrong. About 10 minutes later, there was a knock on the door. It should be Shenzi. Zhangyu stood up with a smile. I opened the door with a smile. Appearing in front of us was a middle-aged man in a suit and tie. Professor Su, long time no see. Shenzi extended his right hand excitedly, because his left hand was carrying to ginseng gift boxes. I shook his hand and said with a smile, It has been a while. Come in and sit down. I just brewed a pot of Da Hong Pao. Shenzi was stunned. He had only ever had Da Hong Pao once, and he was just lucky to try it. After Shenzi greeted Zhangyu, he looked at Elder Zhang on the side. Seeing this, I said with a smile, Come, let me introduce you. This is Zhang Shenggong, the president of Wudaoku University. Elder Zhang. Hearing this, Shenzi quickly stepped forward and shook hands. Hello, Elder Zhang. My name is Shenzi, chairman of Westlake Pharmaceuticals. Elder Zhang said with a smile. I heard about you yesterday from Zhangyu. Let's sit down and chat. At this moment, although the fans in the live stream were amazed, they weren't too shocked. After all, Professor Su had conquered cancer, so it wasn't unusual for him to be friends with a chairman. In the live stream, the four of us were tasting the Da Hong Pao and chatting. Shenzi looked at Zhangyu and asked curiously, Old Zhang, how did you meet Professor Su? Zhangyu chuckled. I, just like you, also met at a banquet. Zhangyu didn't tell Shenzi the real reason. The reason was simple. Without the permission of his superiors, he couldn't reveal a single word. Shenzi nodded. Last night I told you that Professor Su and I met at a banquet. Actually, that was a lie. When Yan. Zhangyu frowned slightly. Why did you lie to me then? Shenzi revealed a mysterious smile. Because I signed a confidentiality agreement regarding Professor Su's matters. I can't reveal a single word, but, well, Shenzi. Shenzi hadn't finished speaking when I directly interrupted him. The next second, Shenzi saw me frown and couldn't help but be stunned. What's going on? Professor Su seems to know nothing about this. Actually, around 8 p.m. last night, Shenzi received a call from his superior, saying that the confidentiality agreement from a few years ago had ended and they could talk about it publicly. His superiors had no objections. Why does Professor Su still? Could it be that his superiors haven't had time to inform Professor Su? Zhangyu and Elder Zhang on the side, hearing Shenzi mention the confidentiality agreement and seeing my serious expression, they immediately realized something. Shenzi had signed a confidentiality agreement related to Professor Su. Shenzi is the chairman of Westlake Pharmaceuticals. And these past few years, Westlake Pharmaceuticals is currently mass-producing two world-shocking drugs. One is a vaccine to prevent HIV, and the other is a special drug to cure AIDS. The developers of these two drugs have not been made public. Could it be Elder Zhang and Zhongyu thinking of this? My heart trembled. If that's the case, Professor Su is too terrifying. The two of them looked at me, then at Shen Zi. Although they were very curious, they understood that if they knew something they shouldn't, it would be a trouble for them. Shen Zi was still a bit dazed. He looked at me uncertainly. Professor Su, you haven't received the notice. I frowned slightly after hearing this. Notice, I did receive a notice yesterday, but it has nothing to do with this matter. Seeing my reaction, Shen Zi confirmed that I was still unaware. He then said directly, last night at 8 o'clock, I received a call from my superior, saying that the matter of you conquering AIDS can be made public. The previous confidentiality agreement is terminated. Shen Zhao's words were like a thunderclap, exploding in the ears of Elder Zhang and Zhongyu. What? Conquering AIDS was also Suzy? At this moment, in the live stream, the chat was flooded with comments. Countless fans were stunned by Shen Zhao's words. You must know that both AIDS and cancer are global challenges. Cancer is a bit better. At least early and mid-stage cancer have a chance of being cured. Even late-stage cancer can still have a miracle occur. AIDS is completely different. The HIV virus is the most primitive and simple virus, precisely because of this. The HIV virus has the possibility of unlimited replication and mutation. In the past, more than 200 kinds of AIDS vaccines have emerged, but all of them failed after clinical trials 3 years ago. Dragon Country officially announced a major piece of news. AIDS had been completely conquered. At first, many people doubted it, but in the following period, one patient after another was cured. The voices of doubt gradually disappeared. Damn, is it going to be this intense? AIDS was also conquered by Professor Su? Holy crap, he's too awesome. Damn, my scalp is tingling. Are there really such powerful people in the world? In the control room, the assistant and the director were also shocked. Suzy is too powerful. Wei Wei's mouth hadn't closed for a while. The director on the side was already searching online. He was mainly checking Shen Zhao's identity based on the current situation. Shen Zi is the head of Westlake Pharmaceuticals. He checked again. The AIDS vaccine and special drug are produced by Westlake Pharmaceuticals, and the photos of Shen Zi online are exactly the same as in the live stream. That is to say, AIDS was really conquered by Suzy. Director Zhang said to the fans in the live stream, I checked Shen Zhao's information. He is indeed the chairman of Westlake Pharmaceuticals. The AIDS vaccine and special drug are also produced by Westlake Pharmaceuticals. That is to say, AIDS was really conquered by Suzy. Awesome, I'm convinced. From today on, I'm Professor Su's biggest fan. If anyone dares to say anything bad about Professor Su, I'll definitely chase after them and curse them until they shut up. To awesome, I'm also convinced. Professor Su is truly a genius. Inside the live stream, passionate comments flew everywhere in the live stream. Elder Zhang and Zhongyu were deeply moved at this moment. Elder Zhang said with a trembling voice, Professor Su, you are too amazing at this moment. Zhang Chenggong felt utterly conquered, although he is the president of Wudaoku University and has made certain academic contributions. Compared to Suzy's scientific research achievements, his contributions are simply insignificant. Zhongyu on the side also had deep admiration in his eyes, seeing Elder Zhang and Zhongyu's expressions. I felt a little awkward. Don't be like this. Calm down. Calm down. Elder Zhang shook his head repeatedly, shaking my hand with trembling hands. I quickly helped Elder Zhang sit down. Elder Zhang, don't get too excited. It's not good for your health. Although I conquered AIDS, I'm not that powerful. I also did it based on the efforts of countless predecessors. That's how I succeeded. To be honest, it's not just my achievement alone. I was just standing on the shoulders of my predecessors and completed the last step. Hearing this, Elder Zhang shook his head. Professor Su, you're too modest. Although past researchers have a lot of information, but why couldn't they conquer AIDS with so much information? Why is it that only you have conquered AIDS? Why is it that only you have conquered AIDS? I was left speechless after some reassuring. Elder Zhang's emotions gradually stabilized. The few of them chatted while drinking tea. At this moment, Zhongyu looked at me curiously. Professor Su, can you talk about your experience conquering AIDS? Hearing this in the live stream 700. 0 pairs of ears perked up. I took a sip of tea and said slowly,